talking about here. He threw 2 interceptions, fumbled, and was sacked for a safety in the 5-0 loss at halftime. Doug Peterson told Aaron Andrews he was disappointed in Foles' performance after the game. He tried to walk that back a little. Let's take a listen to Peterson when he was asked if Foles was to blame last night.
Not Nick, offensively. We had 6 possessions. We had 2 interceptions, 2 fumbles. We had a sack safety, and we had a turnover on down. So that's an offensive performance. I was displeased with the way our first offense executed. I'm disappointed in the offense. I don't want to single out one player, so don't put this all on Nick. I'm disappointed in the offense. And it's not what you want, obviously, in the 3rd preseason week.
Shannon, how concerned should the Eagles be about Foles?
The Eagles should be concerned, but they shouldn't be surprised. I mean, Nick Foles is what he is. Nick Foles this is more of who Nick Foles is, not the guy that played the champ. The two are arguably the greatest conference championship and Super Bowl in NFL history. This is what we know. There's a reason why the Eagles said, nah, we good. There's a reason why the Rams said, nah, and there's a reason why Kansas City said, okay, go ahead, bro, handle yourself. No, come on now, let's be real. What we're starting to see is that if teams can get pressure on Nick Foles, he's below average. 9 possessions this preseason, 0 points, Skip. That's not good enough. And for me, I don't try to put a whole lot of stock in the preseason, but what I'm looking for is that a guy of Nick Foles, if Baker Mayfield makes those mistakes, I can live with it because he's a rookie. A guy that's 6 or 7 years deep in the NFL cannot make those. Skip, that first interception is single high. He stares the receiver down so bad, the guy comes out of the middle of the field and has ample time. Really? And then I don't know what he was thinking on that short yardage play when he threw it on the goal line. What was that, Skip? You're going to try? He don't have that kind of arm.
Yes, is it my turn?
No, it's not your turn. But that's your guy. You should be out of. You know what? That makes you really upset because after you've seen him in the last 2 games and you saw what he did in the Super Bowl, you like, why couldn't that Nick Foles show up? I don't know, Skip. I don't know why.
I do know why.
I don't know why. Stop it. But that's not good enough. The Eagles know what they have. They know who Nick Foles is. They know what he is and what he isn't. So
interesting.
I do think there's 2 weeks from last night in which Carson walked it to him needs to be ready to go. And the way Nick Foles has been playing in the preseason, he keeps speeding up the process in which Nick Foles needs to be ready to go.
So, Jenny Taft, I know how much you love stats that you hear from the other side of the table, thanks to the puppet master, Steve Owens. But here's a stat for you. Okay. You said this is who Nick Foles really is. So, in the regular seasons of Nick Foles' career, he has thrown 61 touchdowns to a mere 29 interceptions. That's really good, Shannon. Is that who he is or what? Is that
No.
So this is really who he is? Well, that guy's pretty good.
No.
In fact, he's pretty great.
Hold on, Skip. So if he was that great, why has 3 teams said, nah, we good?
I don't know.
You do know.
Because we saw what happened last year in the playoffs. I've never seen anything like that before because Carson Wentz is not capable of doing what Nick Foles did in the playoffs.
That's being very disrespectful.
All he did was play the 2 best back-to-back big stage playoff games I have ever witnessed.
But that's the thing, though, Skip. That's the anomaly.
Game and the Super Bowl.
But that's the anomaly.
61 to 29 in the regular season. That's not the anomaly. That's who that guy was.
But let me ask you a question. At any point in time, during those 61 touchdowns and 29 interceptions, did you say, you know what, that guy can go win a Super Bowl and he could outgun Tom Brady in the process?
I really liked him in what year was it, 2013?
Yes.
Chip Kelly, he was really good.
27-2.
And in the playoff game against Drew Brees, he was really good in that game and deserved to win it, and Drew Brees went and won it at the buzzer.
Okay, so 2013, 14, 15, 16. Did those seasons happen?
Do you know how many mistakes this league in general makes on quarterbacks every year?
They make mistakes on a lot of players.
Everywhere. So let's do your favorite word again. Let's do step back. Let's do context. Let's do perspective on what just happened in the last 2 preseason games in which the Philadelphia Eagles played. First one was a week ago Thursday night in Foxborough. So let's see, in the Super Bowl, it was the Patriots versus the Eagles. And all of a sudden, this became a grudge match in Foxborough because Lane Johnson went completely over the edge and called out the Patriots and called them a bunch of joyless robots. And I'm cleaning up all the language. And they did not like it. And they did not like it that the backup Philadelphia Eagles quarterback torched them in the Super Bowl, made them look silly. 41 points Nick Foles put up. And so they came out and said, watch this, Nick Foles. And they came after him like banshees. It was hellacious. I didn't know who these people were. I knew one of them. His name's Adrian Claiborne, and he terrorized my guy Dak Prescott in Atlanta last year, and he came back to life for the Patriots.
But if you don't mind me asking, if Nick Foles is that guy, it doesn't matter what the defense does.
Yeah, but
it doesn't matter what the defense does.
If you can't block anybody and you have 8 sacks, again, Adrian Claiborne had 6 against Dak. As a group, they had 8. I'm saying, who are these guys? I think if you had watched it, you'd be saying, who were these people? Where were they just a few short months ago up in Minneapolis? They didn't show up, but they sure showed up for this one. And they punished Nick Foles and they punished the Eagles because it was 27-7 at halftime.
Yeah.
Tom Brady played the whole first half.
How did Nick Foles play?
Okay. He played terrible because he didn't have any time. What do you always tell me? If a quarterback, it doesn't matter who it is, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, you name them.
Yeah.
They don't have time. They don't have a chance. Tom Brady doesn't have time. What happened in the Super Bowl against the Giants? He just didn't have time.
Well, here's the thing, though. There's a difference between not having time and turning the ball over. Well, Tom Brady might not have time, but he's going to take care of the football. And if you're leading up to the NFC Championship game, Nick Foles had 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. So you tell me going into that NFC Championship game, you thought Nick Foles could do what he did.
3 interceptions win.
Leading up to the NFC Championship game. Excuse me, 1 touch. Yeah.
Well, no, he didn't have 3 interceptions.
2 interceptions, 1 touchdown, 2
against Atlanta, he had 1. That's all I can remember. He had 1 bad ball against Atlanta.
In 3 games. In the 3 games leading up to the championship.
Okay, including the regulars.
The Raiders. I think they played the Raiders, the Giants.
Well, I saw him come in and save the game against the Rams here in Atlanta. He did.
Skip!
3rd and 9. It's the game's on the line, and he completes the ball.
So what did Nick Foles do? Did you see those 4 touchdowns that Nick Foles had? Carson Wentz.
Jenny, I'm going to reclaim my time because I got rudely interrupted from across the table because I didn't get to finish my second part of context.
Okay.
Last night, what did we see? We saw the team that is featured every Tuesday night on Hard Knocks come out in a big solo stage Thursday night. It's our time to show out game.
Yes.
On Fox, national. And what did they do? The defense said, watch this. And they came after Nick Foles like rabbit, what was the great LT's quote? Like a pack of wild dogs. That's what they came after him at. I'd never seen anything like that from Myles Garrett, and I can go down the line. They were coming from everywhere.
How Big V do?
I'm glad you brought that up because Big V has gotten a big flat F in the last 2 games. He has been exposed. And Jason Peters, who's trying to come back from his surgery, he's not playing at all. So all of a sudden, you got a big old hole on your left side. And what happened to Jason Kelce, who's the best center in pro football? Got hurt early in this game, and he's out. They got some backup tight end whose name escapes me, playing all 3 offensive line interior positions at different times during the first half last night because they were so handicapped in the offensive line. If you don't protect Nick Foles, he is statuesque. I never said he was quick and fast. He's no Baker Mayfield. So he had they had 7 sacks last night. And for the first time since LeBron James left Cleveland, we finally saw a Cleveland team that can play defense because we know the Cavaliers couldn't play defense for LeBron James.
Whatever.
Well,
He's been waiting to use that.
Yeah, how about that? That was just a big boom. Because you got no comeback for that.
But see, what you do
That's
is
what happened to Nick Foles. Those things happen.
See, you use the word context, but Nick Foles picked the perfect time to play the games of his life.
Well, that's pretty great, you know?
Okay,
don't act like it's luck.
No,
it happened.
It is.
It's in the bank, man.
First of all, Skip, have we ever seen, like you said, we've never seen a quarterback in the history of the game in almost 100 years in the Super Bowl era play a conference championship game in a Super Bowl game like that.
Seen anything like it before.
If Tom Brady plays like that, Aaron Rodgers or Peyton Manning or one of these other great quarterbacks, okay, we got no problem with that. We don't normally see a guy like Nick Foles coming from nowhere to play like this. Kurt Warner played tremendous, but he had a whole season of playing tremendous in 99. Nick Foles has been a backup for the previous 3 years.
Okay. So now, Shanjin, for a little more context,